As a naturally more introverted individual, I must say that I 100% believe that confidence is a learned skill. And after having spent 10 years coaching clients on improving their public speaking skills and social skills and networking skills and overall confidence in presenting themselves, I believe that to be true even more so. And I have tons of evidence to prove that that is the case. So I thought it would be fun today to talk about a very simple but very, very effective and powerful way to improve your confidence in any situation, whether that's your confidence with a particular skill or your confidence in yourself in general. Now, what I'm going to talk about is something I go deeper on in my online course, which is a self-paced confidence building course called Show Up Sure Secrets to Embody Confidence for a Lifetime, available for less than the cost of brunch on Udemy with a full 30-day money-back guarantee. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so and share this video with anyone who you think might benefit. Confidence is a learned skill. Usually, we develop confidence in any area of our life based on prior experience. There's a series of repeated positive experiences that gives us confidence in that. Confidence is trust. So, when we trust ourselves to be able to do something, we feel confidence in our ability to complete that task. So, for example, if you've brushed your teeth twice a day for most of your life, then you probably feel confident in the fact that you are capable of brushing your teeth and maintaining that habit. If you are a professional athlete, you do a lot of reps of a certain exercise to trust yourself during the game to execute the action as efficiently as possible. Now, of course, there are other factors at play, but that is how we build our confidence. If you want to improve your confidence speaking, the best way to do it is to learn to trust yourself as a speaker. And so, very often, people will say that to build your confidence, you want to have a lot of reps. And of course, that is true because you trust yourself more when you've done something a bajillion times than if you've done it twice. One block to feeling confidence is that lack of trust. And that often stems from a belief, a limiting belief that says, I can't trust myself to do that because I've had all these negative experiences. Now, remember, our brains are wired to remember the negative experiences over the positive ones. That's a protective, adaptive response. We want to remember the one berry that made us sick as opposed to the 100 berries that tasted delicious. Because the one berry that made us sick could kill us. That's a threat to our life, a threat to our safety. The ones that were delicious were pleasurable, but it's okay if we kind of forget about them. That's not a life dependent situation. And so, anytime we're lacking confidence with something, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not good at it or that we're not capable or that we haven't had positive experiences in the past. It might just mean that our brain is clinging to the negative experiences and forgetting all about the positive experiences. So, what you can do is start to train your brain to see the positive experiences you've had in the past to improve your ability to trust yourself doing that thing. Now, let's use social anxiety as an example and social confidence. So let's say you're trying to improve your confidence speaking to people and you think, I'm just so awkward. I can't go to parties because every time I go, I say something awkward and embarrassing. Of course, we all do that sometimes. We all have those moments. I can easily think of times in my life where I've put my foot in my mouth and said something awkward and embarrassing, and it's like, ugh, cringe. But dwelling on those moments is just going to keep me stuck. It's just going to keep me from ever leaving my house. If I sit and think about all the times I've been awkward, that's not very useful. Now, reflecting on negative experiences can be helpful when we use it as an objective feedback source and we think, okay, had I said this this would have gone differently. Next time, I'll pause and breathe and think of something to say before responding too quickly, for example. But dwelling on negative experiences to the point that it diminishes our confidence and eats away at our ability to trust ourselves, that's not productive or useful. So here's what you can do. In your mind or on a piece of paper, much more powerful if you write it down, call to mind every positive experience you have had doing the thing that you're questioning yourself on. So in this case, it's if you feel like you can't talk to people or you feel awkward or like you have social anxiety, find a list of evidence or create a list of evidence for yourself that proves you can talk to people. So for example, make a list of every person with whom you have had a conversation. Make a list of every party that you've gone to and survived. Now, you want to be careful of using words like good, because you're not saying like, oh, I'm a good speaker or I'm super confident. You want to steer away from words that have a more subjective connotation to them, because then your mind might start to combat you and say, but I'm not as good as so and so, or I'm not good because this XYZ thing happened that showed me that I'm not good. Your brain is going to come up with all the negative evidence that's stored in your subconscious. But what we want to do is find all the positive evidence and dwell on that instead. So you might phrase it like, I am capable of socializing, period. I am capable of socializing. I am capable of speaking to strangers. I am capable of having a conversation. That keeps it more neutral and keeps it more objective. And then you're going to write a list of all the times that you have successfully done any of those things, that you successfully talked to a stranger. You bought groceries and said hi to the cashier. You ordered at a restaurant and talked to the waiter. You called customer service and chatted with the person on the other end. Just find evidence that suggests and that proves that you can physically do it. And I encourage you to get very specific and include things that you otherwise wouldn't think about, because we often start to neglect things when we think like, oh, that doesn't matter, that's so easy, and we focus on the things that feel hard. But we want to celebrate the things that feel easy as steps to get us more comfortable doing the hard things. So make a very detailed list of all the times that you have done the thing that you're not trusting yourself to do moving forward. And this will help to rewire your subconscious to see, oh, wait, I can talk to people. Oh, wait, I can trust myself. And if a negative experience comes to mind and you think, oh, but I was so awkward there, you didn't die from it. Likely nothing bad happened other than you feeling uncomfortable and maybe the other person feeling uncomfortable, but you don't know how they felt really. And so that can be evidence that it is still safe to talk to people. Even though it didn't go quite as you'd hoped, it is still evidence to say, I can talk to people and it is safe, because you didn't get physically harmed in that experience, even if it was uncomfortable. And you can do this with anything. So let's say you're trying to improve your confidence as a cook, and you're like, oh gosh, I burn everything. And maybe that's true. Maybe you want to improve your skills, but I'm sure there are plenty of times when you didn't burn things. And so you can write out a list of meals that you have prepared that came out well. Or let's say you're trying to improve your confidence playing sports. Think about all the shots that you've made, all of the goals that you hit, all of whatever it is. Write out a specific list. Don't think about the times that you missed and the times that you fumbled or dropped the ball. Think about all the times you did it well. And again, of course, we can use the times that it didn't go well as a point of reflection, but don't make that mean that you're not capable of doing the thing. It means you made a mistake. It doesn't mean you're not capable. So you want to separate the story from the objective truth. The story being, I'm not good at this. The truth being, you are capable and it didn't go well that one time or those 50 times. But that still doesn't mean you're not capable. I thought of doing this video because I was having a conversation with my client just a few hours ago, and he was having a hard time coming up with evidence that he's good at sales, even though he's very successful in his sales job. And he does door-to-door sales, which is not easy. And he was like, yeah, I just, every time I try to tell myself, like, I'm good at sales, I have this negative thought that's like, oh, but remember that one time. And so all these images or the reminders of times that it didn't go well were coming to mind. And so what I suggested to him was, again, change it from I'm good at sales to I'm capable of making sales, and write a list of all the sales he's ever made, count up how much money he's ever made from making sales without attaching meaning to it. So it's not, oh, I've made this much money, but I really want to make that much money. It's just, I've made this much money. Great, I'm capable of making sales. And so the more neutral you can make it, the more objective you can become, then the less it's going to be so tied to your self-esteem that you can't keep going. And really what we're trying to do is build a level of trust within your subconscious mind so that you can go out and do the thing and believe in yourself. And the mind loves specific proof and data and evidence, so that then when you start spiraling and feeling bad about yourself, which happens to the best of us, then you'll have a list of evidence that says, hey, none of that's true because look at this. So for me personally, if I'm thinking about like, oh, I'm not helping enough people, then I will look at the list of clients that all the clients I've ever worked with. I will read my positive testimonials that people have written about working with me. And I'm not doing this to inflate my ego. I'm doing this to talk myself off a ledge when I feel like I'm worthless and I'm not doing anything good for the world. Or if I am ready to give up on this channel because I think like, who cares what I have to say, I'll go back and read the sweet comments that people have left. And yes, there are always going to be negative comments in there too. I don't worry about those because that's not serving me. That's not going to be motivating for me to keep going. But focusing on the positive comments and the people that do care, that's so much more compelling. And that helps me trust myself to keep going. And so your homework is think of an area of your life where you want to improve your confidence and write a list of specific pieces of evidence, specific examples of times when you have done the thing that say you are capable of doing that thing. And then if you have any positive feedback from doing it, you can go back and read it like I do with testimonials and all of that and comments. You can go read the positive feedback you've gotten, but even if you don't have that, let it just be, I helped this person, or I did this thing, or I spoke to this person, or I made this shot, whatever it is, find specific tangible evidence to give your brain data that says that you are capable. I hope that this was helpful. Please let me know if you do the exercise, leave a comment below, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.